Okay, so very short video. I wanted to go over the settings I use for Deathball. These aren't necessarily mandatory to run them the way I do. I just wanted to show them because I think a lot of people are going to have a few settings on that they shouldn't. Music is personal preference. Low quality is mainly if you're having lag issues or your PC doesn't handle Deathball very well, I would turn this on. If you have a higher end PC, leave it off. Music is personal preference. Camera shake you turn off. Camera shake will shake your camera like this during clashes, so you'll shoot the ball everywhere if you have this setting turned on. So you want camera shake off. The health bar at the top is personal preference. If you like it being up here and you're comfortable looking up here for it, I'd say leave it there. If you want everything to be in one spot, you can put it at the bottom, so it'll be right where this ready up thing is. So if you prefer that and you want to look here for everything, that's an option. I didn't know this existed till a couple days ago. I've always had mine at the top, so I'm used to it. So personal preference. Whatever you want to do, doesn't matter. Show auras, I would recommend turning it off, just or yours only, to prevent lag. I don't know how much it actually helps, but it makes it a lot easier to see people. With auras like Timekeeper that are so massive, it's hard to see what people are doing. And for the people that play shift lock, you can watch them turn so you know exactly where they're going to hit the ball. So I would recommend turning other people's auras off at least, just because it gives you a competitive advantage. For traders, turn this to friends only for your sanity. There's a lot of children that will friend or trade request you constantly and just say trade. Turn it to friends only, then you don't have to deal with them. So, and then if you can't trust your friends to not spam you with trade requests, you should probably unadd them because they're probably irritating. As far as abilities go, mostly this is going to come down to muscle memory. Ideally, with abilities, you want to be able to hit them while still being able to move your character and moving your mouse comfortably. So you can put it on mouse buttons if you're comfortable using mouse buttons, but that messes with the aim. So if you're someone that relies on curving the ball, I think it's a bad idea to put them on the mouse button, even if you have them. So I would say if you're gonna move it, I would say maybe try Z, X, C, and V for abilities. That's probably a little bit easier for some people. You could also experiment with other keybinds. Just keep it around WASD. The main thing for deflect is the I rebound it to E. The base bind is F'd. The reason I rebound it to E is because I can click faster on E. So experiment with it. If you like E, F, or R better for clashing, I would say do that. If you like having it on your mouse button, do that. It doesn't really matter. You just want to be able to click the fastest with that. Your second deflect bind that isn't your left click should be the bind that helps you for clashing. So you want to have a very high speed on it, ideally. Your mouse really just needs to be precise, and you're not going to unbind it from left click. So just figure out what works best for you for the deflect bind, but E is what I recommend. I played F for I think 1,000 or 2,000 kills. I swapped to E and it was immediately faster. So just for me, it works much better. I would recommend changing it. Now, if you're, very high in kills, this is going to take you a long time to relearn. So, as subpar as my binds being on 1 through 4 for abilities might be, I have the muscle memory for it. I'm used to it, so I'm not going to change it. You could argue if I was going to try to go super competitive in this game and try to get to top 500 champion or something in ranked season 2, maybe it would be better to rebind it, but I mostly trade, so I don't really care too much. So experiment with what you like. If you're newer, I would say try to rebind it to convenient buttons. If you've been playing for a long time, I would only change it if there's a noticeable difference in how much better the keybind is. As far as dash goes, really just bind it to something convenient. I left it on Q because Q and E make sense to use for binds. And if you're playing a lot, you really should be using your dash pretty often. So I recommend it. As far as ball cam goes, ball cam is mostly for mobile players that are newer to the game. I think ball cam generally is going to kill you. If you're a mobile player and that's how you play, you do you. But if you're a PC player, I would rebind ball cam to something as far away from WASD as possible. I just picked U randomly. You could pick P or O or L. Doesn't really matter. Just remember the binds in case you accidentally click it. You don't want it. Emote is just personal preference. I spam sword flip like crazy. So if you want to be like me during matches and just spam an emote because it's fun, then I'd say rebind it to something convenient. You could do F, you could do R, you could do T. It doesn't really matter. Just something that works for you. And then the spray doesn't work yet. So if I hit Y, it doesn't function. I think they're supposed to be adding that soon, or in the next update. So not necessarily soon, but in the next update, they talked about adding sprays. So this bind isn't really relevant yet, but when it is, just I would put it on something convenient. Uh, Besides these settings, if you have a good PC and your monitor can do over 60 frames a second, then you need to install Blockstrap. Blockstrap lets you have your monitor go up to, I think, 240 FPS. So if you don't have Blockstrap and you have a higher end PC, you need Blockstrap. I'm not going to make a guide on how to install it. There are a ton of better guides than what I would make for it. So get Blockstrap if your PC can handle going over 60. If it can't handle going over 60, just ignore it. That's the only reason you need Blockstrap, and Account Manager isn't going to help you, which if you've probably heard about it if you've been around Deathball. And as far as I know, I still haven't heard if Account Manager is safe. So I would advise against getting Account Manager just because I can't recommend it and I don't use it. So I don't want to recommend something that I don't use and I don't trust personally. It does exist and that won't help you with performance, but that is an application that a lot of the Deathball people used to use back when we knew it was safe. But that's it as far as settings go. As far as Roblox, like for in-game settings, as far as Roblox settings go, it's a little bit iffy. If you play Koju, you need the shift lock switch. So I would say leave the shift lock switch to on. And as far as the camera mode, there's a bit of a strange one. I don't remember which one it is. Is it camera toggle? Oh yeah. I think it's this one. A lot of the Zentoki people have said that this kind of camera where it's kind of off to the side helps them. And this gives you the perspective of shift lock. Oh, okay. I might be missing how to use this. I don't remember which bind it is. But there's a weird bind where they kind of keep it like this, but they can keep it over the shoulder. I think it's follow. I don't know. One of these binds they like for camera. I don't use that, but if you want to experiment with cameras and one of them helps you, switch it. I'm used to the default one. I don't like switching it, and this works perfectly fine. You don't need to switch your camera modes for this game. And again, I can run 140 frames, so I would recommend changing to it if you have that high of a PC. Movement mode, I wouldn't change. Graphics, you can change if you need to, but it kind of messes with some of the maps. So ideally, you wouldn't. I think you'd do low mode before you do graphics. You'd reduce graphics. So also, I should probably have this on, but I haven't. So, but yeah, it doesn't matter too much what you have. Just keep that in mind. Those are the main settings that matter. But yeah, that's it. So have a good one. Hope it helps. If you have any questions, let me know.